is your most dangerous.
Hello dear movie lover. Welcome to FilmHead again. Today, I will inform you about some of the best robotic film that will blow your mind. Now let's start. Number 10. War of the World, 2005. Based on the 1898 novel by H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds is a 2005 American science fiction action thriller film that was directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Josh Friedman and David Koepp. Tom Cruise stars in the main role alongside Dakota Fanning, Miranda Otto, and Tim Robbins, with narration by Morgan Freeman. War of the Worlds was released theatrically by Paramount Pictures on June 29, 2005, and received generally positive reviews. It was praised for effectively capturing the thrilling and suspenseful elements of Wells' novel while modernizing the action and effects to resonate with contemporary audiences. It proceeds with the lead-footed deliberation of its 1950s predecessors to give us an alien invasion that is malevolent, destructive, and, from the alien point of view, pointless. They've been planning this for 1,000,000 years, and have gone to a lot of trouble to invade Earth for no apparent reason and with a seriously flawed strategy. The movie adopts the prudent formula of viewing a catastrophe through the eyes of a few foreground characters. In closing, the narrator explains that the aliens died because they were vulnerable to the countless microbes that inhabit the Earth. Number 9. Tomorrowland, 2015. Though it might not launch a whole new franchise, Brad Bird's latest Disney picture is a ton of fun as it races across time, space, and other dimensions. Early in Brad Bird's science fiction adventure, Tomorrowland, there's a flashback to one of the film's heroes visiting the 1964 World's Fair as a child and sampling Walt Disney's It's a Small World ride, with its invasively cheerful music and shimmying puppets. A storyline of sorts is presented, involving a teenage girl searching for a graying scientist who has the ability to enter the previously mentioned future, in which exceptional scientists and other individuals have created a brand new world before this one dies. There are fuzzy or stilted warnings, courtesy of co-writers Bird and Damon Lindelof, about the plight of extraordinary individuals in an ordinary world, and the price we'll eventually pay for despoiling the environment and demonizing science. According to Bird, the entire scene is composed of a sequence of frantic, clockwork-like action scenes with plasma bombs, laser guns, secret doors, passageways, tunnels, climbs and falls that will make you dizzy, twisted hover trains, machines, structures that fold, unfold, and split, and people who might not be human. The film is a personal work of art that seems born of stubborn passion. It's definitely not an assembly line product, despite the way that some sequences evoke actual assembly lines. Number 8. Automata, 2014. Visually, this film by Spanish director Gaby Bañez is stunning. It has just the right balance of CGI and practical effects that make this movie beautiful and eerie. All the performances from each cast member are stellar, including the robots who come across as very stark yet very human. Definitely more human than those who are out to destroy them. In a post-apocalyptic Earth, Jack investigates reports of self-modifying humanoid robots, which poses a threat to humans. But he is blamed for the act before he can find the person responsible for it. Automata opens with on-screen text explaining the future 30 years from now. Solar storms have turned the Earth into a radioactive desert, killing 98% of the population in the process. As a result, the ROC company created primitive robots to help build the walls and mechanical clouds that protect the humans. There are millions of robots, all of which are controlled by two protocols. They cannot harm any form of life, and they can neither repair themselves nor alter another robot in any fashion. Allegorical applications of science fiction are common. While judging Automata by this standard would not be fair, the film's overbearing darkness and oppressive tone lead me to believe that director Gaby Bañez was trying to convey a significant message. However, Automata is a totally underrated and over-criticized movie. Number 7. AI Artificial Intelligence, 2001. AI Artificial Intelligence, or simply AI, is a 2001 American science fiction film directed by Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg gives us his sentimental sci-fi romance AI, and on this front, and this front only, his movie takes the biscuit. It's got the most extraordinary echoes of all. Director Steven Spielberg has made a haunting sci-fi fairy tale that runs the gamut of emotions and, interestingly, the mechas, or robots, are ultimately more sympathetic characters than the humans. Joel Haley Osment as David is extraordinary, his performance alternating from creepy and needy to heartbreakingly naive and hopeful, ever wishing to be a real boy. Jude Law is similarly brilliant as Love Robot Joe with Cary Grant/Fred Astaire-inspired dance moves and a dispassionate yet insightful view of human relationships. John Williams' score, production design, and cinematography are all excellent. In spite of the fact that this movie is nearly 22 years old, the scene of a soggy Manhattan with a submerged Coney Island will stick in your mind and seem incredibly genuine. In the 22nd century, rising sea levels from global warming have wiped out 99% of existing cities, reducing the world's population. Mecha humanoid robots, seemingly capable of complex thought but lacking emotions, have been created as replacements. Perplexing, infuriating, mind-blowing. It's a voyage into a wonderland where the fairy tale motif becomes inseparable from the cool future vision. Number 6. Ex Machina. Ex Machina is an excellent film and story, with the final third full of plot holes. This is probably one of the best pieces of science fiction that I've ever watched. It is about a Turing test of an AI. A Turing test is a method of inquiry in artificial intelligence, AI, for determining whether or not a computer is capable of thinking like a human being. Ex Machina is a very coherent and well-made movie. This has partly been made possible by the rather strict choice of location. Most of the movie takes place inside one building and a set of very limited characters. On the surface, the story reveals the deeply rooted concern of the humankind about the catastrophic consequences of true artificial intelligence coming into life. The scientist, Isaac Nathan, has brought the programmer Caleb to his remote home/laboratory in the forested mountains and assigned Caleb to interact with a prototype of a female robot, Ava, to determine if she truly has self-awareness or it's just an incredible simulation. The story is emotionally and geographically intimate, at times suffocating, unfolding in and around Nathan's stronghold. The film is full of surprises, most of them character-driven and logical in retrospect. I'll try to describe Ex Machina in general terms. This is a classic nerd fantasy, and there is a sense in which Ex Machina might be described as Stanley Kubrick's weird science. But despite having made a film in which 2 of the 4 main characters are women in subservient roles, the movie maintains a scientific detachment even as it brings us inside the minds and hearts of its people. Number 5. The Day the Earth Stood Still. The Day the World Fell Still is an excellent analysis of all the possible cinematic disasters. The Day the Earth Stood Still is a 2008 American science fiction film serving as remake of the 1951 film of the same name, which itself was based on the 1940 short story Farewell to the Master. Directed by Scott Derrickson from a screenplay by David Scarpa, the aliens are advanced enough to zip through the galaxy, yet have never discovered evolution, which should have reassured them life on Earth would survive the death of mankind. Their space spheres have landed all over the planet, and a multitude of species have raced up and thrown themselves inside. Kathy Bates, the defense secretary, murmurs, "A flood." This is the first science fiction film centered in intelligent design, with the exception that the aliens intend to preserve all life forms other than sentient ones. All of this is showcased in a pricey, visually stunning picture directed masterfully by Scott Derrickson, but to no avail. The fate of the Earth eventually boils down to a lady, a child, and Klaatu, as is customary in these kinds of movies. It's a good message about an alien trying to save Earth from human. The alien doesn't have feeling about caring about kids or old ones because it only sees one species as a threat. Number 4. I, Robot. Everyone is afraid that robots would become too intelligent one day. I think it can be real but a long time from now to have the necessary technology in the first place. First of all, I want to clarify that the film was produced in 2004. The movie is fantastic and, in my opinion, has the best visual effects. I should also mention that it was possibly the best film of that year. The visual effects are still impressive, and the film looks amazing even now. The narrative makes me think of the excellent game Detroit: Become Human, which I heartily suggest if you enjoy video games. I, Robot takes place in Chicago circa 2035, a city where spectacular new skyscrapers share the skyline with landmarks like the Sears Tower. The tallest of the buildings belongs to U.S. Robotics, and on the floor of its atrium lobby lies the dead body of its chief robot designer, apparently a suicide. Detective Del Spooner is investigating. Spooner, a Chicago Police Department investigator who doesn't believe it's suicide, is portrayed by Will Smith. Despite the well-known 3 laws of robotics, which state, above all, that a robot must not injure a human person, he has a deep-seated mistrust of robots. The movie makes Spooner into another one of those movie cops who insults the powerful, races recklessly around town, gets his badge pulled by his captain, solves the crime, and survives incredible physical adventures. Number 3. Megan. M3GAN is a marvel of artificial intelligence, a lifelike doll that's programmed to be a child's greatest companion and a parent's greatest ally. Designed by Gemma, a brilliant roboticist, M3GAN can listen, watch and learn as it plays the role of friend and teacher, playmate, and protector. The concept of this film feels so realistic that the horror of the AI's rapid growth starts haunting you. Overall, great work with CGI, and especially on M3GAN's facial work and expressions, which makes it look so futuristic yet so creepy at the same time. Of course, there are some plot holes and moments where you'd feel that why didn't they destroy the robot when they had the chance? But let's be real, that's the problem with most of the horror genre films. Actor Amy Donald, who was 11 years old at the time of filming, literally breathes life into M3GAN's robotic savagery with ease. It's a smart collaboration of performance, puppeteering, computer graphics, and of course, the magic of cinema that brings it all together. This is one of the best robotic as well as horror movies that you should watch. Number 2. Pacific Rim. This movie was amazing. It was everything you might expect in a Daikaiju film and was pure action and monster versus mecha battles. The lead concept artist for Pacific Rim, Roll Monge, really took the kaiju themselves to a whole new level. They look both alien and yet familiar, like a creature we could actually imagine existing. The creatures began attacking years before the start of the story proper. We get the history in a prologue. The humans can't fight the monsters by conventional military means because it causes too much collateral damage. They created the robots, called Jaegers, to engage them directly before the creatures, called kaiju, could make landfall. Over time, the beasts have become bigger, nastier, more resourceful, as if they're evolving. And now they seem to be winning. Humankind is in retreat. Despite all of its chaos, Pacific Rim is a more emotionally charged movie than what the trailers may have suggested. Raleigh Beckett, Charlie Hunnam, the protagonist and ace pilot, abandoned robotics to build coastal walls when his older brother Yancey, Diego Clattenhoff, his companion, perished in a monster combat. There are also other instances of this kind of human dyad in the movie, such as Mako and Stacker Pentecost, the commanding general of the robot warriors, who has a fatherly affection for Mako. However, Pacific Rim is a war movie set in a near future that resembles in its combination of high technology with cultural and social dilapidation the grim worlds to come in Alien and Blade Runner. Number 1. Terminator Film Series. The Terminator will blow your mind if you first time watch it. It was so action-packed, intense, gory, and overall exciting that you will not realize when time will fly. The indie feel this film has can't be believed unless you watch it. For a film made on a low budget, it surely has a lot of merits, and you can't easily ignore any of that. To make an action film with a chilling antagonist chasing after the good guys and disposing of anyone who stands in his way, without feeling a bit of remorse, is an uphill task, especially when that character is played by an actor known better for playing heroes. Arnold Schwarzenegger, take a bow. The picture moves quickly, and the tension is raised by the most of the action taking place at night. Indeed, the movie is jam-packed with action that is visceral, violent, disgusting, and occasionally horrifying. The Terminator is a remarkable action film that is truly amazing to watch, whether it is a car pursuit or a firefight. The list of advantages of the movie only keeps getting longer, thanks to a cast that can make you feel a connection to their roles. Michael Biehn's portrayal also makes you want to support his character, while Linda Hamilton succeeds in making the audience aware of the fragility of her own character. It's impressive that even the supporting cast contributes to the story. This brutal sci-fi actioner is a dark masterpiece and also a fun popcorn entertainer at the same time. Being extremely violent and gory, it ensures kids aren't its primary audience. and instead guarantees unabashed fun for adults who enjoy action mixed with a futuristic element. This is about the Terminator, a cyborg assassin from the future, attempts to find and kill Sarah Connor, a waitress who is destined to give birth to a man who will save humankind from extinction. It has totally 6-part from Terminator 1984 to Terminator Dark Fate 2019. Maybe you watched it. If not, then this is highly recommended for you.